Hello Aditi, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Oliver in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day to you. Next name is I see Holy in the chat. Hello, how are you? And next name is I see Arabella in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining the live. Next name is Wasra in the chat. Hello, Wasra, how are you? Next name is Adam in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining the live. Next name is Shaiba in the chat. So Saiba or I think Saiba in the chat. Next name is Lakshmi. How are you, Lakshmi? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day. Next name is Zaika. Hello, how are you, Zaika? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day. Next name is Maya in the chat. Hello, Maya. How are you? Okay, next name is Naeem in the chat. Hi, Naeem. Next name is Medina. How are you? Thank you so much, Medina. Next name is I see Kelly in the chat. Hello, Kelly. How are you? And I see next name is Gina in the chat. Hello, Gina. How are you? And I see Oisha in the chat. Hello, Oisha. How are you? And I see next name is Millie in the chat. Hello, Millie. How are you? And next name is Fahim in the chat. Hello, Fahim. How are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Falak in the chat. Hi Falak, how are you? And here is Hamad in the chat. Hi Hamad, how are you? And here is Shakil in the chat. Hello Shakil, how are you? Thank you so much. Next name is Nandani in the chat. Hello Nandini, how are you? And next name is Rihana in the chat. Hello Rihana, how are you? And I see Gustavo in the chat. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Jawel in the chat. Hi Jawel. Next name is Yasmin in the chat. Hi Yasmin. Next name is Evelyn in the chat. Hi Evelyn. Next name is Lily in the chat. Thank you Lily for joining the line. And next name is Catrice in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the line. Next name is Monica in the chat. Hi Monica, thank you for joining in the live. Next name is Ilhan in the chat. Hi Ilhan, how are you? Next name is Hi Jawad, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Asta in the chat. Hi Asta, how are you? And here next name is Mattis. Thank you, Mattis. How are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day. And here's Asbella in the chat. Hello Asbella, how are you? And next name is Neo in the chat. Hi Neo, how are you? Thank you for joining in the live. And next name is Shumi in the chat. Hi Yumi, how are you? Have a great lovely day to you. Hi, hello. Okay. Next name is Kumu. Thank you, Kumu. How are you? Thank you for joining in the live. Next name is Radin. Hi, Radin. How are you? Thank you for joining in the live. Have a great day. And here is Arfan. Arfan. Thank you for joining in the live. Okay, did I wrote it 2 times? Arfan. I think it's Arfan. I wrote it 2 times. Okay, Arfan. Thank you so much for joining the live. Thank you. And here next name is thank you for your compliment. Next name is Kumush. How are you, Kumush? Thank you so much. And here next name is Alia. How are you, Alia? Thank you, Alia, for joining in the live. And next name is Sasha Monster. Thank you for joining in the live. Have a great day. And I see next name is Alfred in the chat. Have a great day. Thank you so much. And next name is I see Johanna in the chat. Hi Joanna, how are you? And next name is Mania in the chat. Hi Mania, how are you? Thank you so much. And next name is Isma in the chat. Hi Isma, how are you? And here is Wasila in the chat. Okay, next name is Quena. How are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Chaloy in the chat. Hi Chaloy. How are you? And next name I see here is Jannat Noor in the chat. Hi Jannat Noor. How are you? And here is Princess in the chat. Hi, Princess. How are you? And next name is, I see here is Ayan. Ayana. Okay, Anaya. Ayana Licking. And next name I see here is Harshit. Harshit or is the Harshita? Where it go? I missed the name Harshita. How are you, Harshita? Okay, everyone, tap on the screen. Hit the 30 likes. Hello, Shahid. Please, Shahid, like the live. And next name I see here is Ali in the chat. How are we? How are you? Next name is Chavella in the chat. Hello. How are you? Welcome to the live. Next name is Michelle in the chat. Hi, Michelle. Next name is Ison in the chat. Hi, Ison. How are you? Next name is Rosin in the chat. Hi, Rosin. How are you? Next name is Dua in the chat. Hi, Dua. How are you? And here next name is Ari joined the live. Hello, Ari. How are you? Next name is Mitu in the chat. So Mitu. Okay, next name I'm part 3. Okay, here's I think battery in the chat. Okay, next name is I see Meher in the chat. Hi Meher, how are you? Thank you so much. And whose name I miss it? Tell me, tell me. Here is Cholin in the chat. Hi Cholin, how are you? And next name is Durga in the chat. Hi Durga, how are you? Next name is Ali. Thank you, Ali, for joining in the live. Sonia. Next name is Sonia. And next name is Liam. How are you, Liam? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And here is children. Thank you and welcome back to the live. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And next name is Sumit in the chat. Hi Sumit. How are you? And Mubina. Next name is Mubina in the chat. Hi Mubina. Next name is Grita. Thank you so much. Have a great day to you. And next name is Tahira in the chat. Hi Tahira. How are you? And here is Felix in the chat. Hi Felix. How are you? And here is Ziba in the chat. Next name is Shivam. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much. Next name I see. Next name is Samarana. Thank you for joining in the live. Okay. Next name is Pubert in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day. And next name is Here is Ayan in the chat. Hi Ayan. And next name I see Aishu in the chat. Hello Aishu. Next name is Liana in the chat. Hi Liana. And next name is Angel. How are you, Angel? And next name is Kina in the chat. Hi Kina. How are you? And next name is Jannat Noor. I already write your name. Thank you for being in the live. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you. And whose name I miss it? Whose name I miss it? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Here is Cano. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you so much. And here I see next name is Lucia in the chat. Hello Lucia, how are you? Next name is Jackie in the chat. Hello Jackie. And next name is next name is Junior in the chat. Hi Junior. And next name is Harper in the chat. Hi Harper. How are you? Next name is Zay in the chat. Hi Zay. How are you? And next name is Kissenia in the chat. Hello. How are you? And here next name is Amin. Thank you for being in the live. And next name is Sarah. Hi Sarah. Welcome to the live. And next name is here is Viraj in the chat. Hi Viraj, how are you? Okay, next name is Yuna in the chat. Hi Yuna, how are you? And next name is Rahman. Hello Rahman, how are you? Thank you so much Rahman. And here's Rani in the chat. Hi Rani, how are you? And thank you so much. And here's Michelle Fatma. Michelle Fatma, thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day. And here is Sahil in the chat. Hello Sahil. How are you Sahil? And next name is Dikshita. Hi Dikshita. How are you? Thank you so much. Next name is Alian in the chat. Hi Alian. How are you? And next name is Liam. Thank you Liam. Have a great day to you. Next name is Taylor in the chat. Hi Taylor. How are you? And next name is Liam. I wrote your name. Thank you. Again, here you go. Next name is Malik in the chat. Hi Malik. Rifla in the chat. The next name is People. I think I wrote your name. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Vivek in the chat. Hi Vivek, how are you? And here is Maria. Welcome back to the live. Thank you so much. And next name is Radhya in the chat. Hi Radhya, how are you? Next name is Surya in the chat. Hello Surya, how are you? Next name is Talia in the chat. Hi Talia. And next name is Hi Dua, how are you? Welcome to the live. Next name is Vanya in the chat. Hello. Hello, and here next name is Gabriela in the chat. Hello, how are you? Next name is Rima. Hi Rima, how are you? Thank you so much Rima for joining the live. Next name is I see Kyra in the chat. Hi Kyra. Next name is Naira. And here we have Hafsa in the chat. Hello Hafsa. Next name is Krishma in the chat. Hi Krishma, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And name is Clark James in the chat. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Andrea in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And next name is I see Deepika in the chat. Hi Deepika, how are you? Hi Diti, how are you? Here is Misa in the chat. Thank you and welcome back to the live. And next I see Sarah in the chat. Next name is I see Tarun in the chat. Hi, how are you? Next name is Michelle in the chat. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the live. Bye, have a good day. Next name is Halina in the chat. Bye bye, have a nice day. Thank you for being in the live. Next name is Jana in the chat. Hi Jana. Next name is Ishal. Hi Ishal, how are you? Welcome to the live Ishal. And next name is New Ray in the chat. Hello New Ray, how are you? You're welcome, Diti. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Next name is Hana in the chat. Hi, Hana. Next name is Itma in the chat. Thank you for joining the live. And next name is I see Georgie in the chat. Hi Georgie, how are you? And next name is Debbie in the chat. Hi Debbie, how are you? And next name, thank you Dipti, thank you. And next name is, I see, here is Mia in the chat. Hi Mia, how are you? Thank you for joining in the live. Next name is Hadu in the chat. Hello. Next name is Dikshita. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. Thank you. Next name is Amelia. How are you, Amelia? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name I see here is, okay, next name is Mucho in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. Next name is Icha in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. Next name is Mehek. How are you, Mehek? Thank you for joining in the live. And next name is Antonio in the chat. Hi, hello, how are you? And next name is, I see here is Oksha in the chat. Welcome back to the live. And here I see next name DT. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Next name is Kushi in the chat. Hi Kushi. And next name is, I see Kennedy in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. And next name I see here is Susie in the chat. Hi Susie, how are you? Thank you so much. And here next name is Sandra from Australia. Thank you for joining in the live. And next name I see here is Adam, Samira, and Joseph. Thank you everyone for joining the live. Have a great day to you. Thank you so much. And next name is Kenny in the chat. Hi Kenny 120. Thank you so much. Okay, next name is, I see here is Mustafa in the chat. Hi Mustafa, how are you? And next name is Oku in the chat. Thank you, welcome to the live. Have a great day. Next name is Jana in the chat. Thank you, Jana. Next name is Stila. And next name is Kyla. And next name is Sonia. And here is Siva. Hi Siva, welcome back to the live. How are you? Thank you for joining in the live. Thank you so much. And next name is, I see here next name is Hatix in the chat. Hello, how are you? Welcome welcome to the live. And next name is Jenny. I wrote your name. Thank you so much for joining in the live. And next name I see. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Siva. Thank you. Next name is Aluma. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day. And here it is Amelia in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. And next name is Innocentia in the chat. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day to you. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much. And next name I see Anna join the live. Hi Anna. Next name is Katrina. Thank you for joining the live. Next name is Mohida in the chat. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the live. And next I see here is Sanvi. How are you, Sanvi? And next name is thank you for liking. Thank you. Next name is Anna Shira. Thank you so much for joining the live. Next name is Mario in the chat. Hi Mario, how are you? Thank you Mario for joining the live. Thank you Siva for liking and subscribing. Thank you so much. Next name is Isfar. Thank you Isfar for liking and subscribing. Thank you. And next name is okay. I see. Next name is Janki. Hi, how are you, Janki? And next name is Vishay in the chat. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the live. Next name is Saiba in the chat. Zaiba, thank you so much for joining the live. Next name is Rahul. Hi Rahul. Next name is Kumar in the chat. Hi Kumar, how are you? And I see here next name is Constantia in the chat. Next name is I see Philemon in the chat. Hi Philemon, how are you? Thank you so much for joining the live. And next I see Samarth in the chat. Okay, I missed the R. Samarth. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Zaya in the chat. Hi Zaya, how are you? Next name is Sandeep. Hi Sandeep, how are you? Next name is Kisra in the chat. Hi Kisra, how are you? Okay, next name is Laibanur in the chat. Hi Laibanur, how are you? And I see next name is Adarsh in the chat. Hi Adarsh, how are you? Next name is Holly in the chat. How are you, Holly? And I see Ajwa in the chat. Hi Ajwa, how are you? Next name is Ayat in the chat. Hello Ayat. And next name is Peter in the chat. Hello Peter, how are you? Next name is Radha in the chat. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Taha. How are you, Taha? The next name is Jimala in the chat. Thank you for joining in the live. Have a great day. Next name is Simon. How are you, Simon? The next name is Siluk in the chat. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day to you. Next name is Harim in the chat. Hello Harim, how are you? The next name is I see Fahim. Next name is I see Alvira in the chat. Hello hi Liana. And next name is Anaya. I think I wrote your name. Thank you so much, Anaya. Next name is Sony. How are you, Sony? Next name is Piyush. Hello, how are you? Next name is Arman in the chat. Hi Arman, how are you? Next name is Sriyansh in the chat. Hi Sriyansh, how are you? Thank you for joining in the line. Next name is we have Sohail in the chat. Hi Sohail, how are you? And next name is Haris in the chat. Hi Haris, how are you? Thank you Haris for joining the live. Next name is Sanab in the chat. Hello Sanab. Next name is Isis. Laura joined the live. Hello Laura. Thank you, Gory. Next name is Caroline. How are you? Welcome back to the live. Thank you so much. Next name is Vivi in the chat. Hello, how are you? Next name is Tuesday in the chat. Hello, how are you? Next name is Sophie in the chat. Hi Sophie, how are you? And next name is Subham in the chat. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Have a great day. Next name is Sunny Kumar Yadav. Thank you, Sunny Kumar Yadav, for joining the live. Next name is Rania in the chat. Sorry, Raina in the chat. Your next name is, I see here is, okay, here is Thank you, Aaron. My internet is keep disconnecting. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Muskan. Thank you, Muskan, for joining in the live. Welcome back. And next name is Hawa in the chat. Hello, Hawa. How are you? Next name is Ali in the chat. Hi, Ali. How are you? Welcome to the live, Ali. Next name is Elizabeth in the chat. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Thank you so much. And next name is okay. Next name is Naruto in the chat. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. Next name is Eddie in the chat. Hello, Eddie. Next name is Jody in the chat. Hi, Jody. How are you? And next name is Mira in the chat. Hello, Mira. How are you? Next name is Goju in the chat. Hello, Goju. How are you? And next name is Azra joined the live. Hi, Azra. How are you? And next name is I see here is Sophia in the chat. Hello, Sophia. How are you? And next name I see here is Divaj in the chat. Hi, Divaj. How are you? Next name is Tanish in the chat. Hello, Tanish. How are you? Next name is Isha. Hi, Isha. How are you? Okay, everyone, hit the 90 likes. Hit the 90 likes. Thank you, Medina. How are you? Welcome to the live. Next name is Manha. Thank you, Manha, for liking and subscribing. Thank you so much. And next name is Charlie in the chat. Hello, how are you? And I see next name is Sarah in the chat. Hello, Sarah. And I see next name is Ayano Kochi. Thank you for joining the live. Have a great day to you. Next name is Noma in the chat. Hi, Noma. Are you Noma? And next I see here is Sonam. Hi Sonam, how are you? Next name is Hanvi in the chat. Hi Hanvi, how are you? And next name is Abiana in the chat. Hi Abiana, how are you? Next name is only Mira in the chat. I think I should write the light. And next name is Beyonce in the chat. Hi Beyonce, how are you? And I see next name is Aman in the chat. Hi Aman. Next name is Ishan. Hi Ishan. How are you? Welcome to the live. And next name is Saudi in the chat. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the live. thank you so much. Next name is Sama in the chat. Hello, how are you? Next name is Gurleen. Hi, Gurleen. How are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. Next name is Gio in the chat. Hello, Gio. And next name is okay. Divas name is Adina in the chat. Here is Sudis in the chat. Hi, Sudis. How are you? And here next name is thank you. Mesa, how are you? Welcome to the live. And I see Sejal in the chat. Hi, Sejal. How are you? And next I see here is okay, Maria. Hi, Maria. How are you? Thank you, Maria, for joining in the live. Next name is Talia in the chat. Hello, Talia. Okay, next name is here is Serena in the chat. Hello, Serena. How are you? Thank you so much for joining in the live. And next I see here is Julie in the chat. Hi Julie, how are you? Next name is Ruby in the chat. Hello Ruby. And next name is Azza in the chat. Hi Azza, how are you? Welcome to the live Azza. And next name is Zaman. What's a Zaman? Thank you Zaman for joining in the live. And next name is okay, middle name is John. Okay everyone, I'm taking last 5 names, then I will end the live. I'm taking last 5 names, then I will end the live. Here I'm taking now 5. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last name who's here in the last. Hi Deep, thank you so much for joining in the live. Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. See you in the next live at 5:30 p.m.